Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever it is you are. Appreciate you joining in. So today, somebody asked me a question about me being the archivist for the Pilates Museum. So I figured I'd talk a little bit about that today, since about to open up the museum this year. So if people want to come visit, they can do that. But a couple things is that one of the things that an archivist does, right, is they do what? They take care of everything that you can have in a museum. So there's lots of things that you can have in a museum. Part of what I have that's in the Pilates Museum is, first of all, there's original apparatus. Well, even before that, there's the original building. And when I bought the property, the original building was in pretty much total disrepair. The roof was leaking. There's water damage everywhere. There was water damage to a lot of the original apparatus because the people who had bought the property from Clara just shoved everything in there and just closed the doors and never touched it for 30 years. So there was there was rodents and there was ants and bugs and this and that and all sorts of different things. So there's that aspect. So that was one of the first things I did. In the beginning, I did all the work myself. I stripped the roof off, rebuilt the roof, reshingled it, rebuilt the deck. I had some help with the deck. And then about 7 years ago, let me think about that, 7 or 8 years ago, we started to look into doing even more. And so I got some help. I did a GoFundMe, and people donated almost $10,000, and we were able to put the electricity in and replace the windows and the doors. So it's now a three seasoned facility. I closed it during the winter, but it's going to be opening up probably the 4th of May. I'll be opening up for weekends, most weekends, and some days during the week. It's by appointment, so people can come visit. But that's basically, that was the first thing, is to get the space back, right? And so we've with a lot of help with a lot of other people, we've done a lot of different things to bring the museum back to life. And last year it was fully open. It is now a fully functional place. It doesn't have handicap access because it's stairs. It's private. It's not a public museum. And the way Joe built it, he was at Jacob's Pillow. So when he bought the property, he built his studio. He built it up on like a rock. So he called it Jacob's Bed. So that's where he was talking. That's what he did. So it's up on a rock. So there's stairs to go up there. And I rebuilt everything the way he had built it. The stairs are a little funny, but it's now open. And so there's lots of other things in there as well. So what else is it? What else is there? Well, there's documents, there's pictures, there's film, there's audio, there's apparatus. There's I have also there in the garage and in the other house, probably about 50 to 75, maybe even more, those banker boxes. Originally they were in banker boxes, and we've switched them out. One of the things that I've been able to do, because I live near SUNY Purchase, and they have a museum there, so they have coursework on being a museum person, a curator, and working in the museum. So I've been able to take a bunch of those classes that they have there to be able to help me do that, right? So, there's arts management, there's introduction to structure and function of the museum. I've taken a course on museum education and learning, arts, and there's even arts and entertainment law, so to sort of figure out how to do all those things. So part of that process of becoming the archivist for the museum I'm just not putting a word out there and saying I'm an archivist. I've also done some studying and research and done a lot of work to understand how to start to better take care of the wealth of documents and information and apparatus and everything else, to make sure that this information, and it's available for generations of Pilates teachers to come from all over the world. Again, it's a studio that he built, and all the stuff. A lot of that, not everything is there. Like the bust I have here in the wintertime, but I take it up there in the for the season when it's there. I take it up there. I just don't leave it there because there's no heat. Well, there's a heater in the studio, but it's not on all the time. So I don't leave things. Certain things I don't leave in there, and I bring back so that the temperature is not so extreme. So that's one of the things that I'm doing. But one of the things that we did is the boxes of all paper. Problem is it's in the country, so there was, again, just like in the studio, there was a road. You had mice and this and that. So one of the things we did, the paper boxes, some of them started to get attacked by the rodents. So we transferred everything, and I've had help. We do work weekends, so if anybody's interested, you can come. Usually it's the last Sunday of the month during the summertime, and we invite people to come up, and you can join us in doing that and being able to participate in either helping clean and organize and do that kind of stuff, or there's also a lot of now scanning to do because of all the boxes of papers. I have papers from Joe's business through today, basically. The whole trademark case, all those legal files and everything else. I have all that stuff, all the depositions, and you name it, there's all those types of things. So I've kept those things. What else? So that's part of that process of being the archivist, is to be able to understand how to manage and take care of the different pieces of information and structure and apparatus and whatnot, to be able to make sure that we take care of it in a way that is to ensure that we have it for a long time to come. And part of the thing that we're doing is now scanning all the documents so that it'll be a digital version of that as well, because it's very difficult and time consuming to do all that scanning, right? It's one page at a time, and it organizes it and put it together. So that's one of the things that we're also doing now as the archivist. So I'm sort of in charge of all those different things, and I've had lots and lots of help. Elaine Ewing has helped me a lot. I've had these work weekends where we had different people, lots of different people providing time, energy, finances. They've donated money. They've done a lot of different things to help us get this museum up and going. So that's one of the things that we do. So and part of this is it's to make it accessible, right? And so people have access to these things. And this is one of the things that I'm trying to do on a yearly basis, is increasing that. I've had some people say, "Oh, he's had it for all this time, and he hasn't done anything." Well, I've done a lot, and I've taken my time, and it was all me in the beginning. I did everything, and now I've had help. So with help, I've been able to do a lot more, and it's not cheap. It's not something that you just do, and I don't have to do that. Just like the people that I could have done what the people did before me and just left it. And luckily I bought it, because I'm pretty sure if I hadn't bought it and somebody else would have just bought the property, they would have just torn all that stuff and thrown it all away. So we now have all of that. There's a library, Joe's original, I love Joe's books, not all of them, but quite a few of his books were there. We have the book plates and the stamp and his signature and his annotations in the margins and things like that. So there's lots of things that I'm working to, and with help of others, to really ensure that we have this. I'm not just see if there's anything else. And again, part of that is it's that organization of putting it all together, right? How does that all work and happen, and a place where eventually you can come in, and if you're looking for something in particular, you'll be able to go and find it fairly easily. It's not always easy, because I've done research. Elaine and I have done a lot of research as historians, Pilates historians, to sort of try to find lots of different things. And you can go to a lot of different libraries, and they all have their own way of doing things. It's not always exactly the same. and you can put a term in and nothing comes up, but you put it with another term, or you do this or you do that, all these different things, and all of a sudden you can find other information. So it's not a simple thing, and I'm trying to eventually make it fairly simple so that if those who are really interested in the history, right, and want to learn and understand it better, and not just pictures, right, or videos, it's also the documents and the true history of the business and all the dynamics in between, right? There's lots of dynamics in Pilates. There's a lot of egos, there's a lot of dynamics, a lot of different people, and part of that is to be able to have as much information about everybody as possible, so that there's a picture of what it really was. Because history, life is, we're making history every day as we go through, because tomorrow, right, today is history. So that's part of the thing that we have to realize, is that it's always happening, but to be able to have a place where you can go and really research and get a sense of what really happened through the primary source documentation, right? It's primary sources. That's what we're doing. And it's maintaining those things, and also ensuring that they don't disappear, okay? And that there is a place for the storage, the care, and also the upkeep and the reconditioning and protection. So all those things are important, and those are part of the job of an archivist. Now, if you go to a very large museum, you can have an archivist, for one section of the museum or one group of types of art, different things like that. I'm the Pilates archivist, right? And I'm an expert Pilates archivist, because I've spent the last 35, 40 years dealing with the archives. When I bought the business, I got a lot of the archives, and then I bought the property. So this is the largest collection of archival information about Pilates. And I've also looked and found other things that are not mine, but I also, that we know where that is, and we can refer people to that and show people how to go. So it's a broader spectrum of what can be done and how it can be done, and how people can really get into the history if that's what you're into. If you're a little Pilates nerd in that way as far as history, there's ways to do that. And there's also down the street is Jacob's Pillow, and they have their own archives. And I've loaned them a number of my archival stuff, so that they have it. The stuff that I've loaned to them are related to Joe teaching or being at Jacob's Pillow. So there's all those variables that we can do. So there's lots of information, and if you would like to come visit, you can DM me. I am available for on certain days on the week, most weekends, and certain days of the week. So you can DM me, and we can try to schedule something. If you want to bring a group of your teachers or students and come visit and get a tour, that's also, we can make that work. I've done that as well. Let's see, what else? So that's pretty much it. And again, if you come, it's also a studio. So to clarify, the space is a 400 square foot building. And what I've done is there's basically 200 square feet is museum, and 200 square feet is a working studio. The difference is the working studio has not Joe's apparatus, but apparatus that's from the 80s and the 70s. So there's the original on-the-floor Cadillac that Romana had made for when they moved from Joe's 939 studio into the new studio in Manhattan. The ceilings were low, so they couldn't do candlestick and things like that. So Romana had Gratz make her a Cadillac that didn't have any feet. It was just a frame on the floor. And when Elaine bought the apparatus from True Pilates, that was one of the Cadillacs there, but eventually what Romana did was have them put a feet on it again, so that it was high up again. And when I bought that from her, we realized that it didn't have the feet was removable, which is now in the garage, and we could put it on the floor, because in that studio, Joe's studio, again, it has low ceilings. So now we can still use that Cadillac. I can still use that Cadillac for teaching. There is a bench mat, which is new. There's a resistor, which we had reproduced, and the bench mat we had reproduced. There's a Gratz reformer, that was at True Pilates. So and I have the Wonder Chair and the High Chair that was a reproduction of what Joe had. The High Chair is reproduction of what's in the museum, and the Wonder Chair is from the blueprints. Okay, and then the other side has Joe's Clawfoot original reformer. It has Joe's Cadillac. It has the massage table. There is an original magic circle that Elaine purchased and was donated one to the museum. We also have a bench mat that was donated, as well as a junior reformer that was donated. So that's the other thing that we do at the museum. So where is the original apparatus from Joe? So where's the original apparatuses from Joe? They are in the museum. I mean, there's other apparatus. I don't know where it all. We don't know where all of it went, but I know that when the studio in the Berkshires, he started in 1947, and we know that he replaced his wood apparatus, the clawfoot wood apparatus, with metal sometime between late 50s, early 60s, like 61, 60, or 59, somewhere around that time. So that's one of the things. So when he did that, he took that old clawfoot reformer, one of those clawfoot reformers, up there. So I have that, and then the Cadillac is hand built. You can see it. The massage table was originally a bench mat, because we took it. That was one of the ones that got really damaged by water when it was just left there. So I had to replace the vinyl. In restoring and reconditioning it, and when we took it apart, we opened it up, and you could see that it had been it had the holes for the wood legs for the bench mat. So another thing that we can see there from that process. So, and then there's a small barrel with no padding. There is a Wonder Chair that's a higher Wonder Chair. It's like precursor to the High Chair without handles or a back, and it also doesn't have any padding. So there's lots of that original apparatus, and if you come to the museum, you can try that out. When we do Pilates at the Pillow, that's the other thing that we do is I bring a bunch of that apparatus there so that people can try it out. I do have I have a couple bednasiums, and when people come to visit, and they're going to come and like bring a group, I'll set up the bednasium so people can try that out as well. So you can experience the original apparatus with the original springs and the original spring tensions and that type of thing. So that's one of the things that we're able to do. Now, if you can't come, I have done and I will continue to do live, videos and things like that of the space and the property and showing you things. And we do videos there. You can see Elaine does a number of the exercises. We do some teaching there. So we do it, and I've done it with her as well. So there's a bunch of different things that we can, try to share that as much as possible if you can't make it, right? Because, some people are all over the world and it's a long trip to come and just see the museum. But if you're a Pilates teacher and you're interested in history, you should put it on your bucket list for sure. Okay, so that's kind of it. I mean, an archivist, that's sort of what I've been doing, and really trying to make all this stuff available for people, and so that you can come in and do your research or just experience it. I mean, it's where Joe did it, taught it, invented some of it, not all of it, but some of it. And I think that the spirit of Joe, right, this body, mind, and spirit, well, you definitely get the spirit of Joe there, for sure. We also do Pilates at the Pillow, which is a conference, and we're gonna be announcing that very soon. The dates for that coming up. What else is coming up? So, the end of the month on the 27th, if you like history, Elaine and I will be doing a workshop in New York City in the same space as Joe's original studio at 939 8th Avenue. The windows, when you look at the picture of that studio, most of the pictures that we have, you can see those big windows that are out on 8th Avenue. So it's the same space, and we are going to be doing a mat workshop. So if you're interested, it's on my Instagram page. Not Instagram. It is on my Instagram page, and on this one it's too, is in the bio. But you can also go to Linktree/Sean_Gallagher and check it out there and sign up. Okay, if that's something you're interested in. And then lastly, I have, if you're interested, on Tuesdays I teach virtually. I have Balanceology at 10:30, which is not Pilates, but it's balance work. It's working on really strengthening and doing things to help your balance. And then at 1 o'clock, I do the arm spring, leg spring series from the resistor posters. There's 2 posters that you can also purchase at my Etsy store, Pilates Posters Etsy store, if you want to follow along and join in with that. Okay, so there's that as well. So those are some of the things. And then next in May, I'll probably announce it probably next week, or maybe even sooner. I'll be doing the Dynamic Spine webinar again. So if you're interested in learning more about how we can work with Pilates and get a better understanding of the spine, I bring a lot of my physical therapy background into it, and a lot of other research that I've done. I've probably have 20 or 30 books on scoliosis and spinal different dysfunctions and issues. And as an osteopath and a PT, I've done osteopathic training, so the manipulation. I have a lot of understanding of how the spine works and functions, and trying to give you a better understanding of how Joe's work really supports that's the spine in so many good ways. All right, if you know how to do that, and you know how to use the work the way he did it, because there's lots of stuff I see on social media today is not anything that Joe taught, and it's not. I don't think it's good for the spine, in a lot of ways. But when we look at his progression and his way of doing things, and if you follow what he says to do, then it works pretty well. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So thanks for joining me, and if you know anybody else that would like to watch this, this will be also posted on the Pilates Source YouTube channel. Usually takes me within a day or so. I usually put it up there, sometimes right away, but sometimes I have to run today, so I won't be able to do it right away, but I'll do it tonight or tomorrow. Okay? All right, everybody. Thanks for joining.